What's up, guys? It's Taylor and I am back with another video. You already know the deal if you read the title. Today I am recapping episode 2 of the Challenge Total Madness on MTV. This was a jam-packed episode. A lot happened. It was not chaotic, but you know, it was actually really entertaining. And a lot of people got screen time, and we got to see some spats, some arguments. You know, it was a good episode. So without further ado, let's get to it. So the episode starts off with everybody coming back from elimination. As we know, Jay and Asaph had the elimination at the end of last episode, and Jay won. He actually did really good. He beasted. He had great strategy. So episode starts off. Everybody's coming back for that from that, and everybody's basically reacting to TJ telling them about the new elimination twist. You can't make it to the final unless you go into elimination and win and get a red skull. So basically, like, CT and Jenny and, you know, but a few strong competitors are like, nobody's really gonna throw them a bone because they're strong and they don't want them to make it to the final necessarily. Because, I mean, let's be honest, everybody kind of wants layups in the final. You know, you want to go against somebody you know you can beat. So CT, Jenny, and I think a few other people are like, nobody's gonna throw us a bone. So they're kind of talking about that. Jordan says that he's gonna play a normal game, you know, and see what happens. And Tori is his number one. Of course, that's his fiance. Why wouldn't she be? And yeah, so they're not really phased by the whole elimination thing. They're gonna play a normal game and they're gonna see what happens. That's actually an interesting take, considering what happens, you know, later on in the episode. But we'll get to that. We see Big T and Nelson talking. Big T is, you know, saying that she wants to go in, she wants to, you know, fight to prove herself, she wants to prove that she can compete. And I've said this before, I'm actually really proud of Big T. I'm always happy, you know, the fan in me, because I've been a fan of this show for a long time, the fan in me is always happy when somebody says that they want to go, not necessarily like go into elimination, but they want to come on this show and prove themselves. So that conversation that Big T was having with Nelson, I really, you know, I was digging that. You know, I'm happy that she actually wants to, you know, go into elimination and prove herself and prove that she can do it. And I respect that. So we'll see what happens with Big T later on in the season, but I actually really respect that, and that was very interesting to see her, you know, really express to him that she wants to fight to prove herself. So that's dope. Next scene, we have Rogan and Jennifer Lee. You know, they're sitting around, they're talking, they're flirting. You know, Jennifer's asking Rogan, you know, what advice would he give her? What should she do? And then Rogan's like, you know, they're gonna want to throw you in because you're a prospect, you're a rookie. You know, you got to prove yourself. So they're always gonna be coming for you. And then also in this scene, we kind of have Dee and Tori lurking. Now, Dee, I don't know what Dee's deal is. You know, because we all saw last season what happened between her and Rogan, and I just don't understand why she's so hung up on him. You know, he kind of did her dirty last season, and so for her to come back and, you know, be worried about, you know, who he's, you know, trying to get with and everything like that, I mean, like, why? Like, why are you worried about it? Like, move on. And that's what we see Tori tell her, like, in the same scene, like, girl, like, get over it. We ain't got time to be worried about what these men doing. We have to worry about us. This is an individual game. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, you can't still have feelings for somebody, but the way that she, you know, kind of goes about it, it's kind of weird. Like, why are you out here moving like that? But whatever, that's on her. That was that scene. So anyways, after all that, we finally get to this week's challenge. Now, this week's challenge is called Airdrop Extraction, and everybody is in teams of 3. And basically what they have to do is they have to get these like heavy military crates, and they have to carry them and like get so many. And the first, I think, 3 teams to make it, to get however many crates that they need to get, they make it to round 2. Now, in round 2, each team will go up on the helicopter and they will have the chance to bomb a target. Well, not, it's multiple targets, not just one. They will have a chance to bomb targets, and whoever hits the target the most wins. So basically, we got all the teams and everything like that. TJ explains the rules. Here's go. Everybody is kind of doing their own thing. Fessy is beasting it. He is leading the pack. Him and his team basically. They're leading the pack, they're getting their crates. Fessy's in front. He's actually really good. I know I said back in the cast breakdown video, I was kind of not worried, but I was interested to see how Fessy does because he's big and he's strong. He's a D1 athlete, no doubt. He used to play football, but I was wondering, you know, how he would do when it comes to cardio and, you know, running long distances, because big guys, as we've kind of seen in the past, don't really do that good on the show. I mean, we've seen we've seen Zach gas out, you know, we've seen Big Easy gas out. That was a big one. That was, you know, he cost his team literally the final. I don't think we've seen CT like really gas out, but you know, cardio's kind of difficult for him. So big guys, even though they're strong, they don't always do good on this show because they aren't well rounded. When it comes to cardio, they're not that good at it because they're so big. Fessy put that to rest. He was ahead of the pack. It was like it wasn't even phasing him. He wasn't even winded. I was really amazed. Jordan was like right there neck and neck with them. I think Corey, Swaggy, you know, their team, I think it was Corey, Swaggy, and D, they're beasting it. A lot of people are actually doing okay, but ultimately the teams to make it are Corey, Swaggy, and D, Kyle, Melissa, and Fessy, and Ashley, Jordan, and Wes. Now, those are actually some pretty good teams. D's a beast, Fessy's really good. Swaggy, I'm actually glad, you know, he made it. So those are the teams that made it to the second round. Now, first up with the second round, the first team to be on the helicopter bombing the targets and everything like that are Jordan, Jenny, and Wes. Now, this is interesting because Jordan and Wes don't like each other, like at all, you know, and so even though they're both strong competitors, you know, they can't really, the communication, I guess, just kind of wasn't there because they don't like each other. And I think Jenny is just kind of, she was like with that team, she kind of caught in the crossfire. So basically they get up on the helicopter and one person has to be a spotter, which Jordan was a spotter for his team, and two people have to be on the crates to throw them out of the helicopter. So Jordan, you know, I guess he just couldn't get it, you know, he couldn't figure out, you know, obviously there's a lag, you know, from when you're over the target, you know, you can't be like go because it's gonna take some time for the crate to drop. So I mean, maybe he just couldn't get it, but they didn't do that well at all. They got like 2 out of 9, and yeah, they kind of sucked. they kind of sucked at that. Well, Jordan kind of sucked. I'm sorry, Jordan really sucked at that. He blew it for his team, and yeah, they didn't do well at all. They did not do well at all. Next up, I think, was Jordan, Jenny, West. Next we have Fessy, Cal, and Melissa. Fessy was a spotter. Cal and Melissa are on the crates. They actually did really good. Fessy was, you know, spotting. They were dropping the targets. They didn't hit every target. I think they got like 7 out of 9, but that's still good. They only missed 2. Like, that was amazing. They were hitting the targets left and right. That was amazing. They did really good. That was dope. Good to watch. Fessy's really setting, like, he's making a name for himself, and I'm interested to see what's to come for him because he's killing it. The next team after them was Swaggy D and Corey. Swaggy D and Corey straight beasted. Corey was the spotter. He was giving them the go. Swaggy and D was dropping the crates. They hit every single target. They beasted that straight up. I mean, that was amazing. So, as you know, obviously since they beasted, they hit every target. Swaggy D and Corey are the tribunal, and you know, they have to pick 3 people to interrogate, and the house has to nominate somebody to go in. Now, it's a girls' day, so the girls will be on the chopping block. After, I do want to point this out too, after the not mission challenge is over, Jordan kind of has an attitude, you know, he's mad. I mean, here's the thing. I understand being upset with yourself, you know, when you feel like you could have done better, you feel like you did wrong and everything like that. But to have a bad attitude and bad sportsmanship, especially on a show like this, I mean, it's just not smart. It's not smart, number one, and it's disrespectful. Like, I mean, nobody's saying Jordan had to go up to Swaggy D and Corey and be like, man, you guys did, like, no, he didn't have to do that, but he could have been like, yo, congrats or something, or just not been so just mean. And I don't know, I didn't like that. I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of the competitors didn't like that, and I thought that was really, you know, distasteful of him. You know, it's not a good look at all. But anyways, after the tribunal was announced, we get back to the house and everything like that, and everybody's looking at Jennifer, you know. And to be fair, she didn't really do that well on the challenge that day. I mean, Josh had to help her carry the crates. Now granted, I think they said that these crates were like 30 pounds, so I understand that they were heavy. You know, even for the guys, they were heavy. You know, I think, you know, Fessy and CT, like all of them will say that they were heavy. You know, and the girls, you know, somebody like Jennifer and girls like Ashley, like, you know, they're really small. Like, they're tall, but like they're really slim, and you know, they don't really have a lot of upper body strength and stuff like that. So I can definitely understand, you know, the crates being hard to pick up, but you have to at least try. And it didn't look like she was doing anything. Josh was I mean, she did, you know, try to touch the box and help him carry and everything like that, but Josh was carrying 2 boxes, and Bailey was picking up the slack for that team. So it's just, she didn't really do her best on that challenge. So I understand why everybody's looking at her, and from what I've heard, she didn't really have the best relationship with the girls in the house, and that definitely doesn't help with you know, what happens later, but we'll get to that. So everybody's looking at Jennifer, and for some reason she ends up talking to Wes and Johnny, and them being the characters that they are on the show, they convince her that she needs to make a speech. She needs to make a speech saying how she knows she wasn't that good, she's not that great of a competitor, but she's just a rookie and everything. And they were telling her to put all kinds of stuff in the letter. That was hilarious. It was hilarious, and it was sad, because how, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but how in the world can you be so oblivious to the fact that people are trying to manipulate you? Like, seriously, how did she not, like, when she was actually like writing down what they were saying, like, how did she not know that they were kidding or playing with her or trying to get her to embarrass herself? Like, I'm embarrassed for her, honestly. That, I mean, it was funny, don't get me wrong, but no. So anyways, that happened. And we also, before the house meeting, we also see Dee and Tori, you know, talking, and Tori's like, I want you to throw me a bone. You know, we worked together in the final. We helped you win $250,000, and we think that, you know, you can throw me a bone. Like, I want to go in. I want to get my red skull. If Jennifer's going in, I can be Jennifer. Anybody can be Jennifer, but you know, so I want my red skull. The only problem is Dee has Jenny as her number 1, and she wants to throw Jenny a bone. So that sucks, but that's a situation that we will elaborate on more. But anyways, next scene, we have the house meeting. Wes kind of leads the house meeting, and of course, he turns it over to Jennifer, and Jennifer gives her speech, and it's for lack of a better way to say it, it's a shit show. I mean, for goodness sakes, starting off the speech with "Greetings, Earthlings." I mean, what does she think this is? Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were rubbed the wrong way with that. That wasn't a good look. She's basically saying what she's saying, and she's just embarrassing herself more and more. And finally, we get to the vote, and she realizes that she's been played because Wes, who was the first person to vote, votes for her. So I think everybody saw that coming but her. And yeah, that was just a sad sight. So basically, everybody votes for Jennifer. I think Bananas votes for Big T, and a few other people vote for Big T. But for the most part, Jennifer, she ends up getting a nomination. She's going in. She is going into purgatory. Let's see what we have next. Next, after all that, Dee and Jennifer, after the whole house meeting thing, after the vote, we get to see everybody kind of sitting around the table and everything, and Dee and Jennifer have this spat that, you know, was probably a long time coming. You know, they're going back and forth saying, you know, Dee was watching Jennifer sleep. She's jealous because, you know, Jennifer's with Rogan. It's crazy, and it looks like Rogan is loving every minute of it. Honestly, I don't know how to feel about that particular situation, because I feel like Jennifer is the type of girl, like, she's just, for one, this isn't the show for her. She's a pretty girl. Oh, you know, you guys are jealous of me, whatever the case may be. And D is like, girl, please, you know. But D is slightly, I mean, she's slightly jealous. I mean, you can't say she isn't. I mean, for goodness sake, she was eavesdropping on the conversation that Jennifer and Rogan were having the day before, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, come on. So that spat happened. It was a little crazy, got a little crazy, but it happened. And then we see Tori and Jordan talking, and Tori is telling Jordan about, you know, D wants to throw Jenny a bone and everything like that. And Jordan's like, no, you gotta talk to her, you know, like, I'm literally the reason she won $250,000. We worked together in the final. And I just want to say, I really do. I just want to say that I feel like that isn't fair, because that's like saying that, okay, we were paired together on Rivals 2 4 or 5 years ago. You now always have to have my back. Like, what? You know, and that may not be the same exact thing, but I mean, they didn't work together at all. They were on the same team after Jordan and Tori switched to Team UK last season, but we didn't work together at all last season. We were on the same team, and we just happened to make it to the final. That's it. I don't owe you anything. You didn't win me $250,000. We won together. You know, if that's the case, she can give the same argument to him. I'm the reason you won $250,000 too. You know, so that I thought that wasn't fair. I can understand, like, them being frustrated because, you know, they want Tori to go in and get her red skull, you know, because this is the time to do it. She can, you know, she can definitely beat Jennifer, you know. But I just feel like that's not the way to go about it. Like, threatening somebody, like, oh, I'm the reason. Like, come on now. I don't think that was fair. I get it. I understand. They could have went about it a different way. But basically, that was that. So the three people that go into the tribunal are Tori, Jenny, and Big T. Now, they all are giving their thing. They're all giving their, you know, reasons as to why they want to go in. But what's interesting is when Tori's time comes up, she's like, you know, you shook my hand. You said that, you know, we were gonna make this happen. And D's like, no, I didn't. Now, I don't know, maybe I missed something when they were like in the thing and they were talking and everything like that. They were like face to face, kind of trying to keep it hush hush and everything like that. Maybe she did shake her hand and I looked away, I don't know. But I just feel like if they're gonna hold it over Tori's head, not Tori, if they're gonna hold this over D's head, like, it's not fair, you know. Like, I understand wanting to go in and get your red skull, that way, you know, you can just get it over with, but they're being ridiculous. Both Tori and Jordan are being ridiculous. I think that it makes sense that D wants to give her number one the chance to go in. I don't know why it was such a big deal that it was, but it was. But anyways, it's purgatory time. So we get to purgatory, and TJ gives another twist, and he's like, hey, along with the tribunal being able to vote in whoever's going to go in to face the person who got voted in by the House, they can also volunteer themselves to go down and take that person out themselves and get their red skull. This is crazy because now everybody's looking at D like, you and Jennifer have this spat over Rogan. Y'all don't like each other, obviously. Why don't you go down there and go ahead and take her out? And I'm pretty sure D thought about it, but ultimately, D, Swaggy, and Corey all vote together, and they all give it to Jenny. So it's gonna be Jenny, and it's gonna be D, and they go down there, and the name of the elimination is Flip the Switch. So basically what they have to, it's like these big, I don't know what the name of them are, these big thingamajigs, and there's like 5 or 6 of them, like in a line on each side, and basically you have to flip it over, you know, like actually like use all your strength to flip it over, and whoever makes it to the end first wins. So I mean, it's really no surprise that Jenny absolutely beasted this. I mean, I don't even think Jennifer made it past the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Jennifer didn't even make it past the first one. Jenny beasted. She was using one hand to flip those things over. I mean, absolute beast. She made it to the end first, of course, and I don't even think that it took 5 minutes. I mean, goodness gracious, she beasted that. She beat Jennifer, of course, and she gets her red skull. And so, yeah, that's that. And then also, basically, everybody's kind of ragging on D, like, oh, you were scared. Not scared, but like, you were like, you really could have went in and took her out. Because honestly, let's be honest, like I said, Jennifer didn't even get the first one over. Anybody, Tori would have beat her, you know, D would have beat her. Ashley, Kayla, anybody could have beat Jennifer, you know, so D really could have went down. But honestly, anything could happen. Say, I mean, maybe not in this particular elimination, but if it had been something else and she went down and, you know, she made a mistake and she gets taken out, like, I understand the choice to not go in, so I respect it. But basically, that's all I got for this episode, guys. As always, I know I say this, but I hope I don't ramble because I always have a tendency to. But once again, if you made it this far in the video, you might as well go ahead and like and subscribe. Like I said, I want to give you guys more videos. I'm sticking to the recaps for now because that's a weekly thing, and I know I can produce a video at least once a week. I'm still in school, so it's kind of hard to juggle doing YouTube and, you know, doing schoolwork. You know, I have papers to write, tests to take, quizzes to do, readings to, you know, take care of. So it's all pretty difficult to juggle, but I'm doing the best I can, and I'm gonna keep them coming as much as possible. So I hope you guys stick with me. But basically, that's all for now. Until next time. Peace out.